what is career development, Mr. Woyome?
Yes, let me even begin with only the career before we add both.
Fantastic.
Most of the time people think a career is only when they are working and making salary.
That's right, good.
But that's just an aspect
Of career.
Exactly.
Wonderful.
So in broad, our career involves series of work activities that we undergo throughout our entire lifetime. So right from the day we were born to the very day we leave this earth. But then there are three major components: learning, working, and then the social life or family life. So at a point, especially when you are young, you begin by the learning aspect in order to develop the competencies, skills, and knowledge required for you to work and to live. So if you don't learn, then you don't build what is required to live and to work. So it becomes a bit challenging.
Wonderful. Let me ask you before you go ahead. Since you have these three angles, learning, working, and social life, your family and all that, do you have time frames and sort of age brackets for these three segments you mentioned? For instance, the learning curve.
Yes.
Do you have an age bracket for that?
I think we'll come to that. We have what we call the career development model. So there's more of a framework for career development. When they are at infancy, what they need to be doing, even at retirement. Exactly. So the work is when we actually leave the world of education to get into the world of work, to apply what we've learned. But then you have to know what you want to do as work in order to do the right education and training for that. And then also taking into consideration how you want to live your life. So how to, for instance, people want work-life balance. So there are certain professions they wouldn't like to consider. So when they have all these three angles in mind, their career decision making is more realistic. But sometimes people don't have much idea, just jump to a training program believing that in as much as they have a degree or a qualification, they can find a job. But when we come to the development model, we'll see how all these areas play a role. So then career development is a lifetime process of developing ourselves and understanding the world of work in order to prepare and do what we want to do as our goals or as our purpose in life. So there is an end, but then you begin the process. This is myself, this is what I want to do. So whilst you develop yourself in doing that, that entire process is what we can term as career development.
Okay. Now, can you tell us, Mr. Woyome, you made a very strong point that it doesn't take just your qualification to earn you a career. What are the other additives you need to make you, find yourself in a career really that will take in your life?
Great. With this, there are three major factors that whoever wants to make a career decision has to consider, whether they are young or old. The first one has to do with understanding yourself or understanding who you are. That will help you to know your strengths and your weaknesses in order to decide on what to do as work.
That's right, as work.
Exactly. And then the second factor is you understanding the world of work. Because there are several opportunities available, and then also there are several factors influencing the world of work, therefore bringing change every now and then. So when you understand the times and season, in this case, when you understand the world of work, you know what to do and even how to do it. And then we come to the third factor, understanding the world of education, where you explore to understand various educational options or training programs available in order to decide on which to pursue as a way of you developing the right knowledge, skills, and the right attitude for what you want to do as work.
Emmanuel, give us that distinction between work and career once again. Work and career. Because as you keep talking about work, I'm getting the feeling that then there is, a thin line between these two, work and career.
Yes. Let me use this illustration.
When
we use the 3-circle Venn diagram.
It's against mathematics and all that.
Yes, so I've just mentioned the 3 major factors,
right.
And then also the 3 components of our career.
Absolutely.
So we have the learning component, we have the work component,
and
the social life or family life.
That's right.
So where these 3 merge, that becomes our career. So your work is just a component of the broad career, which goes beyond just the work. But most of the time we have in our consciousness work to make salary. But then for what? So when you look at all these 3 dimensions, you are able to develop a purpose for your life. That I am learning and working whilst living in pursuit of this purpose. So beyond just working, making salary to take care of family needs.
Which is work.
Exactly. Why am I working?
Okay.
So if somebody will say, I want to solve issues of corruption in this country, so therefore their training is towards that direction. So what course should I need to pursue in school? What kind of work do I do in pursuit of that purpose of solving corruption problem?
And all these 3 that you mentioned form part of the career.
Exactly.
Okay.
So your learning, your working, and your social life merged form the career. So when you have all these 3 major components in perspectives, your decision making is more realistic. And when we come to the career development models, we'll look at how all these 3 major factors play a role in the career development process.
Wonderful.
From the learning stage, whilst in school, moving to the world of work, managing your career, and then making sure you get to where you want to get to as your life goes.
Do you think that as a people, as a country, if you like, we take, the profession of a career development serious?
Not at all. And that is why issues of unemployment is rising. Like I've mentioned all these areas. Somebody really needs a guidance in order to make realistic decisions, helping the person know him or herself, helping the person understand the world of work, and then helping the person choose the right educational path that prepares the individual for what they want to do. But most of the time we don't have professionals first and foremost to provide that service. And then also the school system do not have a functioning career centers. Neither do we even have them in the communities. So young people just wake up and then they go to school.
They follow the trail. People are going to do this course, so let me also go. That's right.
Believing that in as much as they have a qualification, a certificate, they can find a job. But gone are the days where anything you read in the university, you get a job. But today it doesn't work that way. So this is even the time that we need more of a career development professional or a career coach or a career counselor. But surprisingly, we don't have much of these professionals to serve the 25 million Ghanaians in this country and even beyond.
But the few we have, are we making good maximum use of them?
Well, I hardly could count. Sometimes people refer to me as a motivational speaker, but as I am not.
Okay.
In delivering my services, I may be invited to speak, but my work is career coaching or career coach.
Okay.
It's far different from just the speaking. So there might be people who have been to several seminars, but still haven't found where they belong.
Absolutely.
So even learning when they are out of school becomes a challenge. Sometimes I tell people, so now that you are out of school, what are you learning? And they are like, learn what? Because to them, we only go to school to learn, and when we are done with that, just look for a job. So over the years, they've not learned anything, whereas things are changing. So over time, what they learned in school becomes obsolete, and they might think they have a certificate, but the knowledge has moved from what they knew.
That's right.
And then they become a bit redundant. So like you rightly said, the challenge is we don't have an intentional system to guide people to transition from one level to another in the career development stages.